and I'll be speaking about the karate culture. So whenever people mention the word karate, the words, like the thoughts about kicking, punching, and screaming usually come to mind. And yes, well that is true. Karate also teaches discipline and how to be committed and dedicated. So this right here is my black belt that I recently received on March, so not too long ago. And right here's my certificate showing that I'm an official black belt and with my number that I have. And so by showing this black belt, it shows that I was committed to training in karate for 6 years and that I didn't give up, even though for like sometimes I felt like giving up. So by talking about karate, I hope you guys will learn more about the culture and like what it takes to get a black belt. So I was speaking about how karate originated, where karate originated from, what karate is, my experience in karate, and about how my black belt testing was. So karate originated in the Ryukyu Kingdom, which is Okinawa in Japan right now, and it was introduced in the 20th century because there was a mix between the Chinese and the Japanese culture, so that's how it was introduced. And karate is basically defending oneself without weapons. So you basically use your hands, elbows, knees, and feet to protect yourself and block when people are attacking you, and to like counterattack. You block and then you counterattack and all that fun stuff. And you can hit anywhere in the body where there's a nerve, and with your hands or anything. And as well, people that take karate are ones that don't usually attack first. We stand back and like keep our hands open, so that's like whenever we need to, we can just close our fists and like be able to like block, punch, or do anything with it. Okay, so I started karate when I was in 7th grade. 7th grade up to my senior year. So, and after my senior year, I still continued before I started Cal State LA. So at the beginning of karate, I enjoyed it, but then I guess as I progressed and got through higher belts, I wanted to quit at times because it was getting difficult, because the pressure and then how testing was, and once you reached your brown white, that's when you had to fight other people, and they weren't usually like your same age. They could be around 30 years old, the highest, and since there are not really much females in karate, so I'm in least part of males. And so sometimes I wanted to quit because it did hurt me and I got bruises all over. But I sucked it up because I had a goal, and my goal was to reach my black belt. And so in karate, I did demos and I went to tournaments. And whenever I went to tournaments or did demos, I usually performed the kata named Kusankusho. That was my favorite kata to perform. And even though karate is self-defense without weapons, in my dojo, that's Japanese for room, we used weapons. We used the sword, the kamas, the bows, the nunchucks, the yari, the sais, and the tonfa. And my weapon is the kama and the bows. So that's what my weapon is, and I had to learn it in order to test. And so I also had to help and teach little kids. So I helped the black belts when I was a lower belt, and I taught little kids the basic fundamentals of karate. And so on March 28th, barely this March 28th, 2015, that's when my first testing day for karate was. It was 2 hours long. That's basically a day where they push you to the limit. The first hour is cardio, and they push you to the limit until you're really exhausted. And then the second hour, that's when you have to spar someone. So you're tired and they want to see how mind over matter reacts and how well you can like sustain yourself in an actual fight. And so I remembered when I was sparring, I started to cry because I couldn't take it anymore, and they knocked the air at me, so I landed on all fours, and they told me to get up, that I need to be brave and like stop crying, that because I wasn't going to do that in a real situation and no one would have pity on me. And so I got up and I continued to spar with the rest of the people. I sparred approximately like 8 and 7 were males, and there was only 1 female that I sparred, and they were much older than me. And so my second testing, it was I had to do a seminar. I had to take a class and then perform my traditional forms and then perform my weapons in front of the sensei. And then lastly, on March 30th, that's when I received my certificate, and I still had to perform more traditional forms in front of an audience, in front of the parents, and demonstrate what I know. And that's when I actually received my certificate that I was an official black belt. And so I spoke about how where karate originated, what my experience was, what karate is, and how my karate, how the black belt testing was for me. And in my dojo, there's only 11 black belts, and out of those 11, 3 are female, including me. And so there's a majority of males than female, because there are females taking karate, but not as much. You usually see males doing karate. But I can say that I'm actually proud of myself, because I'm one of those females that actually achieved getting a black belt after 6 years.